Sumit will not be joining today.
Yeah, I just saw his message. Vikas is not taking my call. I'm not sure.
Okay, maybe like he's trying to join. Let's wait for next 5 minutes.
Akash, I think Vikas is trying to join the link, but he's not getting from his side. That started.
Okay, so
Not sure. I mean,
I think he's trying to join the link 2. So can you please tell him to join link 1?
yeah, even he told like he was checked. He's joining link one only.
What? Meeting has not
No,
started
no,
like
meeting
this.
is not started. Yes, yeah.
But tell him to join, like rejoin that link again because you are able to join. So
Yeah, yeah, I'm there. Yeah, I understand. Let me ask him to do it.
yeah, yeah. He's trying on link 2, I guess. I had seen just now in the chat. Yeah, I think now. Hey, hi Vikas.
Because I got that link to mail first, so I was trying that one only.
Okay,
How
now.
come? Yeah, okay, no problem.
Okay, so we'll start today's session. We'll look into the next part of the configuration management. So that is the push configuration. And for that, we will be looking on the tool that is Ansible, right? So today we'll look into the deep of Ansible. First, we'll go through the architecture of Ansible, and after that, we'll try to understand how Ansible works. And after that, like we'll do some hands-on session on Ansible. We'll be connecting more than one server as a slave, and we'll configure the master, and we'll try to deploy on the slaves. So that will be the agenda for today's session. And let me share my screen, guys, so that I will give you some brief of Ansible. And after that, we'll go to the EC2 instance, and we'll try to yeah. So I think my screen is visible. So coming to the Ansible, so Ansible is again one of the open source configuration management tool, and there is a very good documentation for Ansible here. This is the documentation for Ansible. You can go through it, and you can try to understand. So one very cool thing about Ansible. So here you will be getting all the like all your use cases also. So here is a tab called webinars and training. So here you will be getting all the good use cases. So for your information, like Ansible is managed by the Red Hat RHEL. Yeah, so this is used for the configuration management, and it can solve wide range of automation challenges again. So this is also automation tool only. So you will be configuring the master, and all the changes will automatically getting reflected on the slave. So it's a kind of automation tool only, right? And first it's written by Michael Dehan. So he's from the he's a Facebook employee, and he has written it first. And after that, it has in 2015 when uh, Ansible was in the stable version. So Red Hat acquired that Ansible, and now whatever the updates, whatever the things used to be getting generated, that is done by the Red Hat only. And again, so as I told, it's open source. You can also contribute on that GitHub page. So, and this is the official documentation for Ansible, and a very good documentation, I can say. So there are lots of things. We'll go through the useful things. First, we'll try to understand the architecture of Ansible. And yeah, so this is the Google trend of Ansible. So it's very popular, right? It's very popular. And why we need to learn Ansible. So that is also we need to understand. So whenever you will be applying for a job and all, so here you can see, right? So there is a ask from the company like familiarity with a CI/CD system. So Ansible, Puppet, these all things you need to know. It's not like that means you need to have a hands-on. So you basically you must be familiar with these kind of tools, right? And you must know how it works, what is the architecture of that, and how to use the documentation. So these all things you must know. And there is a company called Blackbox. So this is some job description, responsibilities and duties for that. And This is a very great company called Epsilon. So here also you can see strong knowledge of configuration management processes using software such as Ansible, Puppet, or Chef, right? So anything you need to know like this. So that's why we need to have a multiple configuration management tools knowledge. So that will be great, right? That will be because the company's ask is like that only. Because in company, some of the things they are working on Ansible, and some of the things they are working on Puppet. So like that, and you need to understand the infrastructure of that. Now coming to the Ansible, so as same as Puppet, it is easy to learn, and this is written in Python. So this is the advantage. So it's written in Python and easy installation and configuration steps. So as compared to Puppet, it's very easy to configure. We'll show you that today. And one very best thing of the Ansible is like you don't need to configure on the slave. So exactly what you need to do, you just need to configure your master, and after that all the changes you will be doing in the master, and will connect all the slaves to the master. So you need to edit this etc/etc/ansible/host file. Basically you need to add all the IPs of your slave, and that's it for that. Whatever the changes you will be doing on your master, so automatically it will be getting reflected on the slave. So we'll try to understand these all things what we have discussed in detail in our lab session. So these all companies are there, like, which is the very good, means I can say, if you have a good understanding of Ansible, so these are some companies for you. So you can go into these all companies, and you can just apply also. So if you have a great understanding of Ansible and the complete architecture, what we will be going to discuss as a part of this course, like Jenkins, like if you have a knowledge of Jenkins, if you know how Git works, if you know how CI/CD pipeline works, so these are the I can say, like, these all companies have implemented the CI/CD completely. So their infrastructure is completely on CI/CD. Most of the infrastructure is completely on CI/CD. So these are some of the companies. And now coming to the Ansible. So now coming to the deep of the Ansible. So basically here in Ansible, you need to configure, you need to just configure the playbook, Ansible playbooks. So, and which language you need to use to configure the playbooks. So that is nothing but the YAML syntax you need to know, and you need to just write the playbooks in YAML format. And first we'll try to configure the Ansible, and after that we'll go here, like how to write the YAML scripts and all. First we'll try to install and configure configure the Ansible on EC2 instance, like what we had done in the case of Puppet, in the case of Git. So like that. And this is a thing you can just relate to. So suppose this is a this is a guy named Josh, and he wants to he wants to manage n number of servers. I can say more than 100 servers. So basically he need to install this Apache Tomcat on all the servers. So basically what he will be doing, he will not be going into all the servers, all the hosts basically, and manually he is doing installations. So what he will be doing, he will be just configuring the playbooks on the master, and uh, after that he will be running some sorts of command, and all the so Apache Tomcat will be getting installed on all the hosts. So like this he will be doing with the help of Ansible, right? This we had discussed. So basically he will configure a playbook. In that playbook he will do the configurations, like how to install Apache, and after that he will run that playbook. And as soon as he run the playbook on master, so all the changes will be getting reflected on the host. Earlier we had seen, like, after the configuration in the master, we need to go to the host and we need to execute basically we need to run the manifest on the host, right? So basically we need to go to the host and we need to pull the changes whatever we had configured in the master. But here it's not like that. After the configuration in your master, so you can just execute the set of commands on the master only, and it will be getting reflected on the hosts. So this is the very great advantage of, I can say, of the Ansible. So coming here, as I told you, like we need to configure the playbooks, and playbooks basically. So what two things is the main in playbooks that we need to understand. So first is the inventory, and the next thing is a module. So basically in inventory, what you will be doing, you will be just keeping all the details of your slave node. Suppose if you have 100 slaves are there, right? So you need to just enter all your 100 IPs into the inventories, and you will be calling that inventories in your playbook, and you will be, and suppose there are a number of modules also, pre-defined modules are also there, so that also you can use, and on the official documentation you will be getting all the informations. So before going to detail, too much detail, we'll just first we'll try to install Ansible on the master, and we'll be using one slave also to configure it onto the master. So we'll launch two instances first. One will be our Ansible master, and other one will be the Ansible slave. We'll allow all the traffic because we need to install Apache, Nginx. So these all things will need to install, and we need to verify it from the web browser. So we'll named one as Ansible slave and one as Ansible master. So this is the master, right? So we'll change the color to identify. Similarly, we'll log in into the slave also. We will not be doing anything on the slave. So as I told you, right, we only need to configure the master. So first we'll update sudo apt get update, and the same thing we'll do on the slave also. Now we'll follow some steps on the master. We'll two times we will just forget about the slave, and we'll do some configurations on the master. So what are that? So first we'll try to install this software properties common. Actually this will be the part of the server already. Like if I will install it, I will try to install it. Sudo apt get install. So it is already installed. It's already installed. And now we'll add repositories for Ansible. Now we'll update again. And now we'll install the Ansible. Sudo apt install Ansible. So now the Ansible is installed in my system in this master, right? We'll come to these all things. So basically, for the configuration, we will be following these three steps. First, we'll install Ansible on master. After that, we'll configure SSH, access to Ansible host. So this need to be done, right? This needs to be done. After that, only like if you will see here in this uh, architecture. So basically, on this host, basically two things you need to do. First, you need to like configure the SSH, and the Python needs to be there in the all the hosts. So we'll do these two things on the host. So we'll try to install Python here. Sudo first we'll check like Python is there or not. Python 3. Yeah, it's there. It's already there. Means we don't need to install it. It's already there on the slave. And I think on the master also it will be there. Yeah. So now only the thing we need to configure SSH. Why we are doing that? Because while so suppose if I will provide any instruction in the playbook here onto the master, so mm, basically this master needs to tell to the slave, right, to do all the changes. So how the master will communicate to the slave? So some sorts of authentication needs to be there, right? So suppose if I will try to SSH, as of now I am in master, so this green is the master, and suppose if I try to SSH into this slave, so this is the IP of slave. So if I will try to just SSH into it, so it is giving me a permission denied, right? So if this is the situation, then and then like then the master will not able to communicate with all the slaves. So that's why like we need to configure the SSH for that, and how to do that. And yeah, one thing you need to remember, you need to just configure the keyless SSH. Means keyless SSH means like uh, you don't you don't be you don't be you don't need any PEM file or PPK file to get into the server, like what we had seen till now, like whatever the things we had configured here. So we need a .pem file, right? After that, only with the help of that only we used to get into the server. So if you try to think, so if I want to get into this Ansible master, so I need PEM file, right? I need PEM file and the username. So uh, what we need to configure configure the scene in this way, like the PEM file is not required. So that is known as the configuration of the keyless SSH. So key is not required in this situation. So how to do that? So just will try to understand. So this file will be there. So here if you will see, like if I will do cat authorized keys, so here you can see, right, this EC2 North Virginia uh, public key is there. So whenever you used your private key to get to get login into this server, so basically it used to verify from this file, and if it's matches, then only you will be able to enter into the server. If it will not match, so suppose if you will delete this file, so if you will go into this uh, if you will go into this path and you will just remove this file, you will remove this authorized keys, so in that case you will not be able to log in into the server again. So that's why like this is kept in the hidden file, because you can't, so basically .ssh, it's a hidden file, so you can't do means by mistake also you can't do anything here. So suppose if I will delete this, then you will not be able to get into this server, because if you remember, whenever we used to get into the server, so basically we used to select the private key which named is EC2 North Virginia, right? So all the authentication used to happen in this way. Now what is the content of this known host? We'll try to understand. So basically this authorized keys is this authorized keys is nothing but your PEM file. So see, this PEM file is your authorized key. So this is a kind of authentication. So there are many kinds of authentications are there. So this is one way, like a public key, private key match. So from this file, actually, all the match and all used to happen. So now we'll try to look what is the content of known host. So basically this known host. So if you will see here, so we had tried to SSH into this like into the slave servers, not slave server, like any other server. So here the authenticity of host can't be established. ECDSA fingerprint. So basically this fingerprint has been generated here and it is saved here, right? And this fingerprint is generated and it is saved here, but again it is not uh, uh, it is again the connection is not getting established due to the permission denied. So we'll just we'll try to sort out this issue generating one key, and we'll be configuring this key on all the slaves. SSH keygen, I guess. So this key is now generated, and if you will see here, so you have a id rsa.pub. So what you need to do actually, just you need to copy all the content. So see now now this key has been generated, Ubuntu at IP 172.316.338, right? So this IP, basically this key you need to configure in all the slave all the other servers which you want to be get connected from the server, right? So we'll do the same thing here. We'll copy all the contents and we'll go here into the slave server, and we'll go into this file. We'll try to look. So here sudo nano authorized keys. So if you will look here, so in authorized keys as of now only that EC2 Virginia file is there. See, EC2 North Virginia. What we need to do, we will be adding one more keyless it got added now. Just we'll save it, and again we'll try to SSH into it. SSH Ubuntu @ slave server IP, right? This is a slave server IP. We'll see. Now we had successfully entered into the slave server. So if you will see here, so the IP of your slave server is, the private IP of your slave server is 172.31.55.131. So here you can see 172.31.55.131, right? So now we are in this slave server without that PEM file. So earlier what we used to do, we used to just take PEM file here, and after that with the help of that PEM file we used to go log in into the server, right? But what we did here as of now, we had configured a keyless authentication. So basically any private key is not required in this scenario. So without that only we had entered into the slave server. So you can see, right? So this is the private IP of the slave server. If I will exit it, so now I will so now I will logged out from that slave, and now I will be in this master 172.31.63.38. So again, if I will go here, so just see here, see up, it will change, right? Because as of now we are not in master server, we are in the slave server. So we'll exit it, and now we'll do some more changes. So Ansible we had installed, right? Ansible we had installed, and now what we'll be doing, we will be just configuring we'll be just adding IP address. So I will go here. Now we'll add IP into this path. Sudo nano tc Ansible host. So if you will see here, like all the examples are already there. Means you can just follow this example and you can add. So like this also. So same thing we will be following here. So a collection of database server in the DB servers group. So basically the best thing here, like you will be just configuring the group, and you will just assign multiple you will be assigning multiple servers into a group, right? So we'll do the same thing. So we'll name, and naming you can do anything. So if I will do name only, so, and again you need to just enter into it into the rectangular bracket. You can see here, right? One syntax kind of thing is there, and we'll try to add it. So basically here I will give name. So name you can give again, a name you can give anything. So I will give host 1. You need to just keep the IP of your slave. This is the IP of slave, right? We'll keep this here. That's it. So that's it. The configuration is done. Now we'll try to check like how the configuration is done. Is it really done or not? So we'll just make use of this command, ansible -m ping all. So basically ping, it will check. So if I will run this command, so here you can see, right, host 1 is the name of the host, and if I will go here, so under this host server is there, this server, right, 54.160.111.227. so basically this is the IP of your slave server. So we got a successful like, so we had sent the ping and we got the pong, right? And you can use lots of things. So suppose if you have a multiple host, right, so in that case you can use this command also. So what all will do, so suppose if you have 100 host, 100 slaves, so in that case it will try to return this pong. So if you are pinging, so it will try to return the pong from all the 100 servers. So as of now we have only one server, and later in this session we'll be configuring one more server to show you more broad use cases. So that will try to show you. So here so basically here you need to understand what is happening here. So basically we had configured the Ansible on the master node, and after that we'll try to look the connection, either it is established or not. So with the help of this command, ansible -m ping all, and you can ping the separate, like you can ping the separate server also. And if you want to ping only host 1, so you can make use of this command, ansible -m ping host 1. So you will be getting a reply from the host 1. So basically host 1 is nothing but your host 1, this server, right, slave server. So you can ping your groups also. So test, right, test we had given. Okay. See, if it will not match, then it will just return no host match. So we'll try to look what groups we had given. So we had given name, right? We had given name. That's why it is returning me this error. We'll try to ping with the name. We got this kind of reply. And for your information, like what is the, why we used to do this kind of things. So suppose you have a 200 servers. On 100 servers you have your web applications running, and on the next 10 to 15 servers you have your database. So what you will be doing, you will be just so basically here as a group. Here in this group, you will be giving, you will be just giving all the web servers, and you will be creating one more group, and you will be configuring under that group. Under that, you will be naming it as a DB group, and under that DB group, you will be configuring all the DB servers. So that's why this is very useful. Means you can think it of it's like a user groups kind of things. So under one groups there will be a multiple users. So group is nothing but group will be, you can think it of like types of applications. So if one group, so suppose 100 servers you have, and that all belongs to a web server group. So you will be just configuring all the 100 servers in under this web server group. And the same as like you have a 20 database servers. So you will be making a separate group, and you will be configuring all the DB groups, DB host as a part of that group, right? So, and how you will be checking like it's the connection established or not, with the help of this group name, right? So if you want to check each and every server, so you can also use this. So basically Ansible -m ping host one. So host one is nothing but a single separate server. And if I want to check, okay, suppose if I will name it as a web server group, web group. If I want to ping, if I want to check like all the servers, what all there in my web group are active or not. So I can simply make use of this command, right? Web group. And I will be getting all the successful pings from all the web groups. As of now, we have only one instance, so that's why we are getting a reply from a single instance. But later we'll be configuring one more instance, and we'll try to show you that will be you will get the two replies here. So this is the configurations. Now what we coming to this page. So we had so first we had installed the Ansible on master. After that we had configure SSH access to Ansible host. We did that also, and we had seen like how to do that. And basically here you need to just generate a keygen, and all the steps are there, guys. No need to worry. I had written all the steps. I will be sharing you this. And after that you need to set up Ansible host and testing the connection. That we did, right? We had set up this host in host IP inside the master under the folder /etc/ansible/hosts, and we had test the connection also. Now with this we can say like the connection is well established here. Now we'll be just configuring the playbooks. So now we'll be getting deep inside the playbook. What are playbooks? How to configure playbooks? And inventories we had configured. So basically, this is the inventory, guys. This is the inventory. This file is called the inventory. Inventory we had configured, and under the inventory, you will be just configuring your all your hosts, right? So we did that, and we have to use this inventory as a part of the playbook, and we have to do like we have to configure the playbooks, and playbooks is nothing but it's a collection of your inventories and modules. So we'll try to configure the playbook.